Looking back on the week that was and forward to the week ahead. It's the Fantasy Football Hustle. Here are your hosts, Brian Drake and Dwain McFarland.
All across the fantasy universe, it's a bonus show. What's going on, everybody? It's Brian Drake, Dwain McFarland, and we got a special one for you tonight. We're so happy to be here. It's a Tuesday evening. Dwain hits me up and he goes, "Hey, by the way, I got this draft tonight." I'm like in pure Bill O'Reilly form, that's a famous meme or whatever. We'll do it live. So that's what we're going to do. We've got the Draft Sharks Invitational tonight. It's 25 rounds. Dwain is going up against some of the best, smartest guys in the business. I will run through that quickly. Dwain is picking from the number 5 hole tonight. In the draft also is Darren Armani, our pal Fantasy Mojo, a guy named Mitch Carl. You see him on Twitter at DFS and Donuts from Team Rise or Fall. High Stakes Guy Draft Addict is at number 3. Good buddy from Draft Sharks putting this whole thing together, Jared Smola. He's number 4. Obviously, Dwayne's at 5. Mr. Two-time Football Guys Player Championship back-to-back, Abib Agbatoba. Mr. Skywalker 2000, he is at 6. We had him on the show before. Mike Shop, maybe the best voice in fantasy radio from WGR in Buffalo. Got a great set of pipes on him. He's at 7. Austin Martin is at 8. Good friend of the show, John Daigle from NBC Edge Football is at 9. Mike Beers from RotoViz. A lot of smart stuff going on there. He's at 10. Our pal Mike Leone from Established to Run is at 11. And rounding things out, Danny Kelly from The Ringer. So, Dwayne, what a great crew we have here tonight, man.
Yeah, dude. It's gonna be an interesting draft.
And it already is underway, folks. Dwayne is getting ready to select. And if you're watching on YouTube, you're going to be able to see Dwayne going through his queue, selecting players. We're going to talk through it here, and we're just going to have a little fun tonight. And if you're listening later on tonight, we got another show coming on with Jack Miller of Establish the Run. So, Dwayne, you're getting up on the clock here. Who has already gone off the board because it is so tiny I can't even see it?
Yeah, and just real quick. So, okay, let me make that bigger for you guys.
Yeah, let's lay out the 25-round draft. Let's lay out some of these funky rules.
Yeah, my problem is when I make this screen bigger, I can't I'm trying to make my draft room screen smaller. Anyway, so the rules, and I'm on the clock, so I'm going to make my pick.
Do your thing.
Dalvin Cook just went.
McCaffrey's off the board. He went number 1. And it's a super flex, so it looked like we had a couple of quarterbacks go.
Yeah, so, I mean, my pick here, my plan was always Kyler Murray. Hang on one second.
Big thanks to the guys over at Draft Sharks for letting us live stream this along with their simulcast going on. Of course, shout out to our good friends at PFF for powering this episode. You guys want to go over and get a piece of that draft action, the fantasy football draft kit at pff.com. Use our promo code HUSTLE. Save yourself 25%.
Is there a way you can blow that up?
Yeah. Right. Send me let me see what I can do.
See if that link works for you.
Being a bonus show where it's not as polished as everything else. No, but hey, we're going to have some fun tonight. And we're going to go through Dwayne's process. We're kind of setting things up because next week, folks, we're coming out with the draft plan show. That's what Dwayne likes to do. He wants to get a bunch of drafts under his belt so he knows what the hell he's talking about.
For whatever reason, I don't see the stupid private chat. I'll just drop this link.
Just DM it to me.
See it. I just dropped it in the chat room for everybody.
Oh, okay.
So you can pull it from there. So yeah, the format on this. Oh my gosh, look how many quarterbacks have gone. So my plan was to take Kyler Murray the whole time. I didn't really plan on Josh Allen already being gone. Dalvin Cook nearly made it to me, but this is a super flex league. Obviously, when people see all the quarterbacks going, it's normal quarterback scoring. So 4 for touchdowns, point for every 25 yards passing. You start 2 running backs, 3 receivers, 1 tight end, but it is tight end premium. So it's PPR, but tight ends get 1.5 points per reception. My plan is if for some reason Pat Mahomes and Kyler Murray were both gone and both running backs were gone, my pick was going to be Travis Kelce because it is tight end premium. I was actually torn between him and Kyler Murray, but I went and looked at some of the other boards of the drafts that have already happened. And I saw how quickly people were taking the quarterbacks and in the 3rd and 4th rounds, like who people were stacking, or putting as their 2 quarterbacks. People were taking Trey Lance in the 5th round. So,
sorry about that. I'm pulling up the Draft Sharks feed to try to see what they're talking about.
We'll just feed the Draft Sharks feed through our feed.
Yeah, they can
so it's tight end premium. So you start 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 3 receivers, 1 tight end, 1 super flex. So that's another quarterback, and then another flex, which can be a tight end, running back, or receiver. And tight end can be a legit flex in this format because 1.5 points per reception. Technically speaking, when I picked, Travis Kelce actually had the most value on the board versus the rest of everyone at his position.
He's doing his.
Okay, I fixed it.
You're gonna have to stop that.
Sorry, I blew. I
come on, you're a professional now, Drake. You're on freaking SiriusXM. What the hell
I know.
Over there? But so people can see the quarterbacks are all flying off the board. So I'm even more happy about my Kyler Murray pick. I really wanted to have 1 elite quarterback in the bag, and Murray was the one I wanted because I truly believe, had Murray not been hurt last year, got hurt in week 10. He was the quarterback 1, had finished as a quarterback in the top 7 quarterbacks every week, all the way through week 10. That's including the week he got hurt. A lot of you probably remember it was on Sunday Night Football against the Seattle Seahawks. Herbert going already at the end of the 1st round. I'm really happy about my pick. I'm about to get some value that guys in other drafts that have done these so far has not seen come back to them when they've gotten Kyler Murray. I'm probably not going to have any shot at taking another quarterback. They're going to all be gone, but that's okay because it'll give us a different build. Alvin Kamara has still not been taken, and we're at pick 12. So
wow, only 2 running backs so far in round 1. McCaffrey at 1, and right before Dwayne, Jared Smollett took Dalvin Cook. It's all quarterbacks. Then Kelce, Tyreek, Devontae Adams. All right, now
Jalen
we're in round
Hurts
2.
is already gone. That's Jalen Hurts at round 2, pick 1. Darren Waller, tight end premium, also gone.
8 QBs through the first 14 picks. So let this be a lesson to you folks out there that are in 2 QB leagues. Your draft could go this way. People start.
If you've never done one, it can get really crazy. This is how it can go.
Shout out to all the guys in the chat room. A lot of our good buddies are hanging out with us tonight. We'll pop in and out, say hello to you.
So Aaron Rodgers just went.
Daigle with the receiver start. He's in the 9 hole. He started Tyreek Hill and Steph Diggs. He did a draft over the weekend on SiriusXM where he started 8 straight wide receivers, then took a tight end. Wonder if he's going to do that again tonight. Here's Austin Martin coming up on the clock. See a high stakes guy?
Yeah. He won an FFPC main event 3 years ago, I think. 2 or 3 years ago. He won first place in that. So that's about a $500,000 chunk of change.
Whew.
So there goes Kamara. That was a great value on Kamara. And then you got Eckler going to Abib, who we know Abib loves Eckler. That was part of one of his winning plans the year before.
So you're up.
So now we are on the clock. And I am taking Aaron Jones.
I love it.
All right. So Aaron Jones. I'm very happy with Aaron Jones in the 2nd round. I am only taking Aaron Jones over Derrick Henry just because I feel better about his PPR value. A lot of carries on Henry. So I have Aaron Jones slightly above Derrick Henry. So in this format.
Was there any thought to taking another quarterback right there?
No, no. The value there was to go ahead and do what I did. I could have taken Tom Brady. And Tom Brady is, somebody I really do like this year. I've got Tom Brady in my queue. So Derrick Henry just went the pick after me.
I like that it's a 12-teamer and you're at 5, so we're kind of always coming and going here. Was there any thought to going George Kittle being the tight end premium?
I did think about it. That would have been the furthest, like that Kittle honestly has made it. And that was my other option, honestly. And there he goes with that pick.
We'll see if one of those quarterbacks kick back to you in round 2.
I mean, you got Diggs gone. Sorry, it's trying to keep up with my queue and my board.
Do your thing. Stream of consciousness, man.
Yeah. So there goes Hopkins.
The whole point of this show here is just so folks can kind of get in Dwain's head when he's drafting. We're just kind of, we don't have to be that formal tonight. We got a regular show coming up later on. We're just trying to get in his head and see how he's going to draft.
And there goes Brady. So he won't be coming back. So see, I'm off of quarterback now at this point. There goes Tannehill as well.
Wow.
That's gracious. I'm very happy with Kyler Murray.
Only 3 players didn't select a quarterback in round 1. Smola at 4 went Cook Henry. Daigle went Hill Diggs.
There goes Calvin Ridley. He was in my queue.
Yeah, I'm over on the Draft Sharks page, and they've got a little clearer view here. They blew it up.
So is that what you're sharing?
I wonder if I could share. Let me see.
Can you not use the link I sent you? Does it not work?
I can't copy. Send it to me in a DM.
Okay.
Like on Twitter. Do your pick first. Tannehill and Ridley start round 3.
Yeah, I don't have Twitter up right now because it makes my internet crappy sometimes when I'm going to paste it in now. All right, I sent it to you. Let's see if that works. There goes Stafford.
Yeah.
So we got one more pick until I'm up. I have Saquon Barkley, Joe Mixon, and DK Metcalf, and Justin Jefferson, all as options here. I'm not taking Joe Burrow with this pick. Someone else can do that. So let's see what Jared does.
Come on.
And he takes Barkley, who's really who I wanted.
Smola with 3 straight running backs. So now you're up.
Yeah. So I am actually going to take Joe Mixon. Like we've told people like how big I am on him this year. If you've ever been a Joe Mixon fan, this is your year. Don't give up on him this year. This is the wrong year to give up. Still a young player. He's going to have the every down role. I am a little worried about Burrow, but we've got a long way to go till the season starts. So hopefully he gets the ghost out of his head. And we should be in a good spot. So, I mean, I feel good right now. I've got an elite quarterback. I've got 2 running backs. And I mean, so the next position, right, that's really hard to get in this format is tight end. And so that's basically my weakness right now. But there's some guys that I like that go later. So we'll see what happens here. And I will have to get an extra quarterback at some point because you have to start 2.
Let's see.
And just so people understand, so what happens, like, and a lot of people already do. So what happens when that occurs is if you think of it normally, you're like, oh, okay, Pat Mahomes, that's my top rated quarterback. I think he's going to score 400 points. My 12th rated quarterback, is Matt Tannehill, or Ryan Tannehill. I think he's going to score 340. Well, that's a 60-point difference. And so you're looking at other positions and knowing that everyone's got to start 2.5 running backs based on your flex league, 3 receivers. And so the difference between the number 1 position and, the number 36 position at receiver is a lot bigger drop off than the QB1 versus QB12 in most years. And so when you expand this to everybody starts 2, well, now you're comparing Patrick Mahomes to like Daniel Jones and Zach Wilson. So that's why they become so much more valuable, because everybody has to start 24. So the replacement level players are, once you get past that point, or once you get to like, the 24th quarterback, which is basically like the breaking point, it's a big difference between, the top quarterback and the 24th.
I put up a new draft board, and the folks in the chat seem to think that it's pretty good quality. So
okay,
hopefully
cool.
That works
Sorry,
for everybody.
Guys. For the way this works, like I have my queue and then I have the board. And so when I try to make the queue smaller to fit on my screen, also with my tier sheet, so I can be marking everything off like as we're going. If I try to make one small, it makes the other small. So
DK Metcalf off the board to Abib.
Maybe the draft timer's paused. He just switched it to Justin Jefferson.
Oh.
So you'll have to refresh your board. Yeah, it's been kind of a little sluggish. That's why a second ago I was kind of like, crap, am I timed out? What's happening? So it'll be interesting because we've got 2 teams with 2 receivers so far, and those are Daigle and Mitch Carl. Mitch started off with a quarterback. So Austin Martin just went with Antonio Gibson.
Here comes Daigle. Does he dare take another wide receiver?
No, see, he takes Trey Lance already.
Wow.
And so, yeah, again, like it's crazy. Like for me, that's just too much betting on upside. Honestly, like, and I love Daigle, but I mean, you got AJ Brown still on the board. You got Jonathan Taylor, Najee Harris, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, all those players still on the board. I don't think, and looking down past him, I mean, yeah, somebody could take their second quarterback, but Danny Kelly's already got 2. And there's a lot of value still sitting on the board. I think Trey Lance easily comes back to Daigle in the 3rd round, unless I missed some news blurb today while I was working that Trey Lance has been announced the starter.
By the way, speaking of Dwain working, congratulations are in order because Dwain has been signed by Pro Football Focus and is now a full-time fantasy football analyst, leaving the real jobs like, the rest of us schlubs do, and just does fantasy football for a living. So congratulations, my man.
Thanks, man. Yep. One more day of doing regular work tomorrow, which I have a great company. It's awesome. I've been very thankful. But this is just an opportunity to do something like, it's like just to be a kid every day, man. Just feel like you're just living the dream. I'm very thankful for PFF. I'm excited, really looking forward to bringing awesome content to everybody, and really trying to take the data and everything that we've got available to us and figure out new ways to push the limits, honestly, on content. And there's a lot of really good content providers out there that are inspiring to me today. So yeah, I'm super excited. So there goes Burrow. You got Najee Harris and Keenan Allen gone at the turn. You had AJ Brown go after Trey Lance.
Interesting tweet from Levitan today talking about Trey Lance, and if you take him and you pair him with Kirk Cousins, Cousins opens up Bengals, Cardinals, Seahawks, Browns, Lions, Panthers, Dallas, and then Lance has a really good schedule to close the season. Jags, Vikings, Seahawks, Bengals, Falcons, Titans, Texans. So
wow, Clyde Edwards-Helaire to Daigle in the 4th that's some value. So I'm 3 picks away, like guys that are still on the board. It's kind of interesting that they're still there. You got Nick Chubb still sitting there. I mean, you're all the way down to Trevor Lawrence type guys at quarterback as your QB, as your second QB.
Does that scare you?
No, I mean, no, not because what I got to do with my other 2 picks, I feel fine. I mean, there goes Nick Chubb, which is value. The Edwards-Helaire pick was really good for Daigle. Him coming back. Like, that would have been my pick, honestly, in the 3rd if I were Daigle. And I think Lance comes back, but it worked out good for him either way.
Yep.
And there goes Justin Fields. So behind me, I've got 2 players that already have 2 quarterbacks. Smola has 0. Mitch Carl has 1. So, like, if I really want, like, the last 2 players that I think give me some kind of interesting upside, and Abib just took Trevor Lawrence. So I think the next one is Tua, but I really don't want to take Tua
over some of these receivers.
Yeah.
Any thought of a tight end right here? Or not in the tier yet?
I'm just trying to figure out what the fuck's wrong with this stupid thing and how their ranks are. They're terrible. No, I'm taking I'm going to take Terry McLaurin right here. Actually, I could take TJ Hawkinson. I got 24 seconds. I am going to do that, Drake, because I do want one of those tight ends.
You're welcome.
Well, I can take Kyle Pitts if you guys want. Yeah, I'm taking Hawkinson here. And then I can always take another tight end if they come back because I can flex it.
Is there anything on the line for this league? Money, bragging rights?
We don't have to pay anything to be in it, but it's like $2,000, I think, to the winner. Like, there's 6 of these leagues. So, yeah, I mean, you can win some money.
Damn. Dwayne start. Kyler Murray, Aaron Jones, Joe Mixon, TJ Hawkinson through 4 rounds. One of only 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 teams who don't have 2 quarterbacks right now. Jared Smola, who's on the clock right now, doesn't have any. Does that scare you in a super flex going this far?
Well, I think what Jared is doing is he's taking the value that keeps falling to him because the quarterbacks are going so early. I mean, Justin Fields in the 4th round, like, when there's, I mean, I get it. It's an upside pick. Once he takes over, you're thinking he could push his way into like the top 6, 7 every week. There's a chance for that because he can run, he can throw, he can do everything. But I think what Jared's doing is the right thing, in my opinion, based on the way the quarterbacks are going and what keeps falling to him. He's just shifting gears, which I think that's what I love about this format of draft, really, is that there's tight end flex. I mean, there's tight end premium. You can flex tight end. There's quarterback flex. So, I mean, you don't have to I never feel like you just have to be backed into a corner, at least not this early. I mean, there goes Kirk Cousins for the second quarterback to Mitch. So, I mean, if these guys keep hammering, the quarterbacks.
Question in the chat room. Can you ask, he says to ask Dwayne, why Hawkinson over Pitts?
I like Hawkinson being in the 3rd year. I think he's the number 1 target on his team. I see Kyle Pitts as being the 2nd target on his team, and I like Kyle Pitts. I just feel slightly better about Hawkinson. If Kyle Pitts comes back to me here, I'm just going to take him just for fun. There goes Mike Evans, Chris Godwin to the Tom Brady stack.
Now, are you going to worry about any kind of stack with Kyler Murray later?
Yeah, I will. I'll try. I want to target Rondell Moore. That's my target. There goes Chris Carson. So, I mean, you got DeAndre Swift still sitting on the board. You got Terry McLaurin still sitting on the board. I got 2 picks until I come up. I've got Kyle Pitts and Mark Andrews both still sitting on the board.
Wow. And you were targeting possibly McLaurin last time.
Yes. But I think
Pitts makes it back to you.
Yeah, I think I'm letting it go.
I like going Pitts here. Or McLaurin's gone, excuse me. Yes, he went 2 picks after your Hawkinson.
He went after me. So there goes Baker Mayfield to Smola.
his first.
That's his first quarterback. And the pick's on me. And I'm going to take Kyle Pitts.
What quarterbacks were there that you might have thought about taking?
Fitzpatrick, but two is the guy I hope I get. He'll probably be gone. And I'll just have to, I'm going to just have to take whatever they leave me, to be honest. It'll probably be Derek Carr, Matt Ryan, Zach Wilson, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Tua, one of those.
Question in the chat room. Would you have taken Barkley over Mixon if both were available?
That was my pick. Barkley was my pick. Yes, I would have. Just because even though I think Barkley will probably start slow, I like the fact that once he gets going, he's basically, you get McCaffrey and you got him at a discount. Barkley's really who I wanted with that pick. But I mean, I was happy to get Mixon. And the other thing I like about going Hawkinson and Pitts, right, is because the tight ends are so valuable, it does also hurt your opponents.
Yeah.
Because they all want an elite tight end, and now I've got to. I'm essentially saying that I'm pretty much flexing tight end, and I need Kyle Pitts to freaking do his thing.
Mm-hmm. Other folks want to know, is this a managed league or a best ball?
Best ball.
I also asked because I didn't know.
It's okay. We kind of like got on the air and this thing was already wired and rolling. So it's kind of like, oh, okay, just explain it as we go.
It was the middle of the day, and I'm looking at Twitter, and I see the tweet from Draft Sharks about the league, and I see Dwain's name. I knew he was in it. I just didn't know when the draft was. And I text him, and I go, hey, because I'm your receptionist now, you have a draft tonight, and we have a show at 10:30.
Yeah, Jack Miller was immediately also. He's like sent me a DM right away. He's like, hey, I see you're in this thing.
The reason, folks, this is a 25-round draft. There is some depth to it. I'm not sure if we're going to get to all 25 here, and I don't think you folks would be too mad if we cut off around round 17 or so, but we'll see how far we go. Through round 5.
I'll tell you what, this MFL lobby is throwing people off. A lot of these people draft a lot, and it's even taking me time to make my picks. Come on, MFL. You guys have been around forever. Get your shit together and fix this crap, man. It sucks. It's like the worst interface ever. I mean, I've supported them for a long time. I mean, I've been doing this, I've been using their website for over 10 years. But man, just resting on your laurels, make shit better. You can't just I don't know. I don't like it. I like Sleeper way better. I like FFPC way better. I like NFFC better. I like every format that I play in better than this draft room. And these guys have a ton of market share of dollars from people. And I like them and I want to be supportive, but God, this interface is terrible. Sorry, rant over.
Let me remind you of the Kings Classic draft we did last year on CBS.
I thought you were about to say, let me remind you, sponsoring tonight's show is My Fantasy League.
Hey, this week's new sponsor, My Fantasy League.
God.
The chat room agrees with us. I'm with you. I like MFL. There's a lot of flexibility, and that's cool because when you're a fantasy commissioner, you want to be able to make up crazy rules and settings for your league. But yeah, we got to get with the times.
Yeah, that's the great thing about it. There is a lot of flexibility. And look, I've worked in product management and I've dealt with tech dev people. I know what's going on. There is a ton of technical debt here. And basically what's happening in the back end, I can almost guarantee you, there is so much patchwork stuff. If they want to go fix it, it's going to cost a lot of money. Because there's so many, it's like repaving, 50,000 donkey paths, right? And trying to turn them into a highway. It's not the easiest thing to do.
All right, we're coming back here in round 6. If you're just joining us again, 2 quarterback.
I'm doing a
super
terrible
flex
job
league.
of marking off my board, by the way. So that's what I'm trying to focus on.
You do that, I'll BS for a while.
So Lockett went, Jamar Chase went. That's all I need to know is who's going.
We're into round 6
Julio
now.
Jones went.
Deontay Johnson, Jamar Chase, Matt Ryan, Julio Jones. 22, now 23 with T. Higgins off the board to Austin Martin. 23 wide receivers off the board. 19 quarterbacks. 6 tight ends. 17 running backs. We're in the middle of round 6. So Dwain's coming up and a few picks here. Do you have to pull the trigger on quarterback here? You only
have to pull the trigger
Murray
on a freaking wide receiver. They just all freaking went.
Who's on the board? Who's in your queue?
Like receivers are like, it's really getting hairy, like really quickly.
Ayuk and Thielen just
one
off
pick.
The board. So you're up.
Yeah. God, this freaking software, I hate it. I really hate it.
Dwain's next job is going to be working for NFL 10 fixing this.
Dear God.
So we've had 6 wide receivers go in the last 7 picks.
So Thielen just went. It's on me. I'm taking Chase Claypool.
There you go. As Eric Hutchinson in our draft room said.
Good call.
Claypool, a guy last year, everybody knows, popped onto the scene. I think if they're throwing the ball a little shorter on the line of scrimmage, they want to get it out fast with that bad offensive
I think
line.
Claypool
could
this
do
is what I like. I think he never leaves the field this year. I think when they're in 12 or 11 personnel, he's out there. He's not going to be rotating with James Washington. So I wanted my first receiver that I took to really have a big upside, to be honest, just because of what's left now. There's still a lot of good players. But you're like starting to get into a lot of these, older guys. And if I was going to get any youth on my team, I had to pull the trigger like right there. I couldn't wait anymore. And so Smola took the guy I would have taken had I not taken Claypool, and that's Odell Beckham Jr.
If you would have taken a wide receiver instead of Kyle Pitts, maybe then you come back.
I'm glad I did what I did. I'm still good with the Pitts pick in this format. I would have also been fine with taking Mark Andrews over Pitts. See, now I'm in a crunch, though. It's like these people are going to keep taking receivers because you have to start 3. I still need a second quarterback. So now is like really is decision time.
The people who are still at the draft in front of Dwain, let's see. The guy at 3, Draft Addict, he only has 2 receivers. Mitch Carl at 2 only has 2, and Armani only has 2. All 3, though, do have 2 quarterbacks.
Yeah, so I'm there goes Sutton. You knew that was going to happen.
They could be taking a tight end here, too. Mitch and Armani don't have one.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they're going to wait on the tight ends now. So there goes Juju. Let's see.
Yeah, this board's slow. There we go. Finally catches up. There's Sutton. There's Juju. We're over to Darren Armani. I'll be seeing him in Canton, Ohio on Friday for the Kings Classic. Good dude. Who's in your queue right now?
I've got Tyler Boyd, Kenny Golladay, Devonta Smith. I've got Tua. I've got, technically, these people are leaving running backs. I've got, so Armani's just building the Tampa stack. He just took Antonio Brown to go with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin.
And he took Brady in round 2.
Yeah. And so Darrell Henderson's still there. Miles Sanders is still there. David Montgomery is still there. There goes Montgomery.
Who do you like more between Sanders and Henderson?
Henderson. I just think he's got a better chance to carry more of the workload. But it could go either way. Like, they're really close. I have them in the same tier, to be clear. Both of them have underperformed as backs. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Neither one of them have really lived up to what we thought they could be yet. So they're similar. I just worry more about all this Boston Scott. We saw Boston Scott get plenty of work last year. You know what I mean?
I
and
talked
now
about
it's
this.
happening again.
I talked about that today on Sirius a little bit, just from digging into the Eagles, and they're kind of putting Sanders a little bit in bubble wrap, and that's why Scott's getting so much run. And you're seeing that in a lot of camp. People are like, "Oh, this backup's getting a ton of work." Well, no, because they're just not working guys as much anymore.
Yeah,
so
but
I
it's
still
also
think
we've also had that coach say, "I'm going to use 3 backs." He's basically said, "I want a first and second down back. I want a long down and distance and a short down and distance back, which will be the same person, and then I want a 2-minute back." So it sounds like Scott's going to be the 2-minute back. Miles Sanders is going to be the first and second down back, and is it going to be carry on? Probably, as the guy sniping touchdowns.
I think Jordan Howard makes the team over him.
Well, maybe.
And you got Gainwell.
It just sounds like a complete fucking nightmare is what it sounds like.
Darrell Henderson just went to Draft Addict at 3.
Yeah, and that board is... Yeah. I will give Smola credit. He sent an email this morning saying, if you're not familiar with how MFL works, go familiarize yourself. And this is why. Because it is a shit show. Jerry Jeudy now gone.
Shout out to listener
Smola.
Kevin Walsh, who bought a PFF subscription today. He's excited for Dwayne's content coming out.
Awesome. Looking forward to it.
Kevin may be an 11-year-old boy from his photo. So parental advisory on the language here, Kev.
So I'm drafting Tua.
Oh, okay.
Pick. He's the last quarterback I have that really has the upside that I want for my second quarterback.
And some stackability later.
Yeah, and so now I just I've got to get another back or 2, but I'm basically going to count on the 2 backs I've drafted, and I've got to pile up wide receivers. I'm going to be in trouble at receiver, but it's okay. I feel I've got my 2 flex spots. I've got 2 tight ends I like and a tight end premium format. I've got 2 backs. I've got 1 young receiver. So I'm kind of going backwards of like what everybody says you should do right now, but it's the way this board fell. And that's why I don't like locking in, at times to some of these things of saying, oh no, you just have to draft, all these receivers. And there's some teams on here that have really great receivers. Like if you look at Daigle, he's got Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs, DJ Moore, Julio Jones. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's a very nice start. And
there's nothing to say. I mean, again, this is a best ball draft. A little later, you don't take a shot on Carson Wentz, on Jameis, on Taysom Hill.
Yeah, I will take another one, but like my focus now has to be basically these 2 quarterbacks are going to do what I need them to, because I don't need to be fucking around with a bunch more quarterbacks.
You need to save those spots for receivers.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to take another quarterback, but like I don't want to. It's definitely not my priority in life.
The only folks right now.
I said how bad this thing sucks.
Daigle only has 1 quarterback, and Jared Smola only has 1 quarterback. Travis Etienne, Miles Sanders back-to-back off the board. They're talking to Abib on the Draft Sharks show.
Yeah, why not? Who wouldn't want to talk to a guy that's won $750,000 in the last 2 years? No fucking big deal. All right.
They took the draft board down. I think they knew where I was watching it. Robbie Anderson going now to Daigle. So, man, he is just hammering wide receiver. He still only has the 1 running back. He has no tight end yet.
He doesn't even have a starting quarterback yet.
Maybe late he feels like, you know what? I'll get Jimmy G. No one's going to be trying to go get Jimmy G later. All right, it's the Fantasy Football Hustle. Brian Drake, Dwain McFarland, About 40 minutes in.
Yeah,
Dwayne
sorry.
Doing the Draft Sharks Invitational.
And I'm glad I took Tua. Because Fitzpatrick and Roethlisberger just went. I would have been crapping my pants straight.
There's rumors out there that Wentz may not be out as long as people think. I can't see them wanting to start the kid from Texas, Sam Erlinger, or that's even how you say his name, Jacob Eason.
I mean, it doesn't matter what they want to do, though. Like, he does have to be healthy. Mike Beers taking his third quarterback really puts pressure on the one quarterback teams, because now at any moment, any team that already has two quarterbacks could also go for their third. Like, he's basically broken the seal on that. Like, that's like, you see those kind of dynamics play out.
His three quarterbacks, Aaron Rodgers, Matt Ryan, Big Ben.
If you want to give a rundown real quick, like, of what all has happened in the last round and a half or two, like, for people that aren't watching, that are just listening to the pod.
Sure. So on this so tight board here, I'll get up in its face. Again, Dwayne picking at 5. Let's start at the beginning of the 6th round. That was Deontay Johnson, Jamar Chase, Matt Ryan, Julio Jones to our buddy Daigle. Big receiver run here. T. Higgins, Brandon Ayuk, Adam Thielen. That's when Dwayne came in and swooped up Chase Claypool, followed by Odell Beckham, Cortland Sutton, Juju, and Antonio Brown to end round 6. Round 7 began with David Montgomery, Tyler Boyd, Darrell Henderson, Jerry Jeudy. Dwayne was up and snagged Tua for his second quarterback. Then Abib went Miles Sanders. Mike Schaap went Travis Etienne. Fitzmagic made an appearance, followed by Robbie Anderson, Big Ben, Daniel Jones. So there's another team taking its third quarterback. Danny Kelly snags his first tight end in Logan Thomas. Comes back around Devonta Smith from the Eagles. Kenny Galladay, bunch of guys that were in Dwayne's queue going off the board to our pal Leone. Kareem Hunt, Sam Darnold to Daigle. So Daigle's first.
Daigle just went with the Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore stack. So we got to snipe. We'll snipe Terrace Marshall from Daigle here in a bit.
So now we're back over to Austin Martin.
We got 3 picks until me.
What do you got on the in the queue?
Oh man, I got a crap load of stuff in the queue. I'm just trying to make sure I've marked this stuff off, because it's like hard for me to keep up in both places. I want Deebo Samuel or DJ Chark. Chark, I'm just a little worried with the injury thing right now. You know, he's got the hairline fracture in the foot. There goes Deebo. So that was an easy pick.
He's got a hand thing, Deebo.
Yeah, I'm more worried about a foot injury though. So I'll be honest. Like, if it gets to me and Mike Davis is still there, I may just take him.
Starting running back, PPR machine.
And what happens is then basically what I'm saying, my flex will always either be a tight end or one of my backs.
There goes Deebo to Austin Martin.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying. I guess yours is a little behind mine. So I mean, the options I have up, Chark, but I'm worried about the foot. The other one could be Mike Williams, Curtis Samuel. Basically, what I would be doing here is buying injury news on a lot of players that I actually like, and we're still really early in camp. You know what I mean? You still got like Curtis Samuel is not practiced yet. Hollywood Brown's got a hamstring strain. There goes Zach Wilson. Wow, am I glad I took Tua.
Since you took Tua, we've seen 4 other quarterbacks go in the next 10 picks.
Yep. I mean, so that took to a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 quarterbacks have gone. Fitzpatrick, Roethlisberger, Daniel Jones, Sam Darnold, Zach Wilson.
Okay.
I do need another quarterback. The only unfortunate component, right, no, I think I'm okay right now. I do need another quarterback, but
Smola only has one.
I was really planning on just waiting a while. Like I didn't want to be jacking around with that right now. So there goes Cooks.
So Dwayne's on the clock. What are you thinking?
I'm taking Mike Williams. I got it. Man, who just went in front of me? Brandon Cooks.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I'm going to go ahead and take Mike Davis here. And just go ahead and have my third. I'm just going to build my roster different than everybody else.
I'm always a fan, especially in best ball. Like, there's nothing wrong with starting running backs, especially running backs that catch the football.
Well, I mean, a lot of the data shows lately, like you're better off waiting on the running backs and going with the receivers. But it's just what's happened. The running backs have been pushed so far down. Like, that's really where the value is right now. And so that's what I'm going with. Sometimes you're in drafts where you're just like, I just got to take the value that keeps coming to me.
Mm-hmm.
And then you deal with the rest later. So because, there's a lot of guys here that don't have, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams with only one running back. So that's what they've left. There goes Derek Carr, which you knew that was basically an auto pick. Smola was just sweating bullets that he was going to get another quarterback.
If you're a team that was sitting there with just one running back and, Mike Davis is on the board in our chat, people talking about Myles Gaskin. You got to be praying these guys fall to you. And you get him as your third.
Yeah, and I can flex him. You know what I mean?
And again,
and a lot of people don't have tight end. I'm going the opposite of what most people say you should do in best ball right now, and that's the second tight end to Holzgen. But you have to adapt based on format. There goes Jared Goff. So a third quarterback. To Mitch Carl.
What quarterbacks are left for our listeners?
You got, at this point, Carson Wentz, Tyrod Taylor, Taysom Hill, Deshaun Watson, Cam Newton, Teddy Bridgewater, Jameis Winston, Jimmy Garoppolo, Mac Jones. It's all gone. And here go the tight ends. So that's good because I've already got 2.
Mm-hmm. Higbee, then Goff. We're down to Darren Armani. I think he's an Eagles guy. He might get. I could see Goddard going here, or Gronk being his huge stack. Oh, he went Noah Fant. Okay. Figured he would go tight end there.
There goes Chenault. Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, folks in the chat want to know, is there a New Orleans quarterback that you're focusing on?
If I'm taking a New Orleans quarterback, it's only Taysom Hill. I'm not drafting Jameis. I've never drafted Jameis Winston all offseason, and I won't, just because it's more so they just don't have the weapons to formulate the attack that you're going to want to run with Jameis.
Yeah.
Even if Jameis is out there, what am I really excited about? Michael Thomas is hurt, and he's also not a big play receiver anyway. I like the news around Marquez Callaway. That's all great. But Adam Troutman's an unknown. Traquan Smith really has never done anything in his first few years. I just don't see this being – I see this team to win if I'm putting myself into the shoes of the coach, Sean Payton. I think what he's going to do is try to slow things down. He's going to try to play ball control, and I think that lends itself to Taysom Hill. And besides – Taysom Hill is the one with the upside that makes him worth owning, because if he is the starter, he can be, in the top 10. Last year, every start he had, I think he was top 5, top 6. So there goes Gaskin.
Dallas Goedert to Smola, his first one. So Dwayne's up.
Dallas Goedert.
Talk us through it.
Yeah, so I'm taking Mike Williams. I nearly drafted him at the last selection, so I feel good about that.
You can tell there's a lot of folks in our chat that must really listen to this show a lot, because they're calling out the picks before you say them, which is
well.
Great.
DJ Chark would have been my pick there if he didn't have a hairline fracture. You and I have talked about this in the past. I don't like lower body injuries, especially feet. feet being jacked up this early. And it was close enough to where you still I know we've hated on Chenault a little bit. We haven't really hated. We've just been more worried about like how's it all going to play out. But it's it's not like we really just hate Chenault. It was more about the trend that it was headed. Yeah, and so I mean, you got Marvin Jones, you got Chenault. And if Chark's had an issue staying healthy in the past. So it's like, this is why I like doing these drafts too, is it tests my convictions around my tiers. I'm not moving Chark down yet, but it's probably getting close to being time to moving Chark down because, I would have taken him there in the past. You know what I mean?
We're in the middle of round 9. Dwain just took Big Mike Williams. I'll review his roster again. He started out with Kyler Murray. Then he went back-to-back running backs with Aaron Jones and Joe Mixon. We doubled up the tight ends because it's tight end premium. TJ Hawkinson, Kyle Pitts. First receiver off the board for Dwain was Chase Claypool. We got our second QB with Tua in round 7. Mike Davis fell to him at round 8. And we just took Big Mike as our wide receiver 2. And there's some good pub around Mike Williams. You got Joe Lombardi out there as the new OC for the Chargers. They're talking him up at maybe this quote-unquote Mike Thomas role, whatever that means. I mean, Mike Williams plays X. Mike Thomas is more of a slot guy, but so I'm not exactly sure how they play the same role.
Yeah, I saw somebody's tweet. I think it was Fantasy Football Recon Kyle. Or Kyle Fantasy Football Recon, I can't remember, but I saw a tweet from him. You get a Michael Thomas role. You get a Michael Thomas role. You get a Mike Thomas role. You get a Mike. Like everybody on the team is getting a Michael Thomas role.
Yeah.
So there goes your buddy Wentz to Austin.
Ooh.
Austin Martin. That's his second quarterback.
Okay.
So I like Martin's build. He went Kelsey, Elliott, Gibson, Chubb. Comes back with Kupp, Higgins, Fitzpatrick, Deebo Samuel, and Carson Wentz. I'm not crazy about Wentz, but I like the roster construction aspect. There goes Michael Thomas to Daigle.
And he's going to take somebody else. You can't roll with just Wentz as your 2.
Yeah, I've got Michael Thomas way down, so far down my board at this point. Like, I just don't trust that situation at all. I don't trust his health. I don't trust his relationship with the team. I don't trust the team to come out and win enough that he's even interested in playing. And that the coaches just think he's so much of a headache that they're just like, screw it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I just, I'm just don't see myself getting to draft Thomas very much.
Our 12-year-old listener here, Kevin Walsh. And Kevin, please let us know if that's your son or if that's really you. He says, I know you're already your Saints projection show. Any updates on Marquez Callaway? He's getting a ton of buzz in camp.
Yeah.
He's kind of the wide receiver to own for the Saints.
Yeah, well, he's getting the Silva bump big time. So yeah, I'm down. I'm down. I liked him. We talked about him a little bit, as him or Deontay Harris potentially forming a role. But Traquan Smith hasn't done anything. I could totally see Callaway being their leading receiver. Like I could see it happen. No doubt.
Chase Edmonds to Mike Beers as
there goes Trey Sermon.
To Leone. So we get ready to close out round 9, head into round 10.
Well, Leone took Landry. Danny Kelly just took Trey Sermon.
I see. Okay, yeah, my board's behind.
Yeah, that's the other thing that sucks about this website is their board is always behind. You got to keep refreshing it manually. Oh, MFL, let us count the ways that we despise your website.
We just got confirmation that our buddy Kevin Walsh is 20. He was 18 in the photo. He looks like my 9-year-old son.
He looks like Dwayne from 3 weeks ago on The Hustle. Leone just took Waddle. Breaks my heart a little. I wanted to make that part of my Tua stack.
Devontae Parker's still out there, right?
Yes.
Get excited.
I think Will Fuller went, though. That was the other potential part. Yeah, he did go. Robert Tonyan. Gone.
Yeah, Tanya's one of those guys they're tough to really put a finger on because they're so efficient. And if you take away like one game, it all goes away.
I'm out. I mean, where he's going, the range is right, So I worry about the touchdown regression. I mean, Aaron Rodgers threw 1 second, calculating. Let's go over here and look at this cool new tool over at Pro Football Focus that Kevin Cole helped build, and it's fantasy points versus expected points scored. And if I filter that to tight end, filter.
So our buddy Kevin Tompkins says he had a 9.1% touchdown rate, which is not quite sustainable.
Yeah. No, I just want tight end. Much.
Speaking of tight ends, 2 of them in a row off the board here.
So last year, I must be in the wrong.
Something must have happened, Dwayne. They just reset the board. They took a few picks off.
Oh, I'm looking at 2019. All right, there we go. Yeah, so Tanyan's expected touchdowns based on where he was targeted, the different areas of the field, the width of the field, play action, all the sort of things that would go in. Tanyan had 11 touchdowns. His expected touchdowns were 6. So he was 5 over. It's also the reason I'm a little lower on Aaron Rodgers than consensus than last year. So, and we've talked to people about this on the show before, right? About how these Kyle Shanahan, McVay offenses can have these nutty efficiency years. And Aaron Rodgers is a GOAT, no doubt. But when you look at his expected touchdowns, last season versus, the actual, he threw 48, his expected was 36. So it's 12 over. Now, really good players can go over, but that's by a lot. Like, I would not project Aaron Rodgers for even probably 40 touchdown passes this season in the offense he plays in. I think I got him at like 38. So, okay, so Javonte Williams went next to Leone instead of whatever pick it was that he had made.
Yeah, they had him up for a tight end. If this draft board isn't your thing, go over to our buddies at Draft with Red Zone. Use promo code FFHustle. They're extending it another week. Get yourself a draft board, get the stickers, and get the cool championship ring with the case that's going to be customized to your league. It's draftwithredzone.com. Use promo code FFHustle. Tell them Dwayne and Drake sent you. You get a good deal.
So Waddle's back in the queue. I got to remember that. Okay, so I've got to refudge. All right, hang on.
Daigle's on the clock.
I gotta go out of this shit and come back in. I fucking hate this site.
12-year-old Kevin Walsh is watching here, Dwayne. Please.
Sorry.
Oh man, it's already up to you. They just
shit
threw 3 picks on the board. Darnell Mooney.
God. Live draft room's loading. I'm waiting.
Is that Rondell Moore? Hollywood Brown?
So I am going to take. How do you guys like Elijah Moore? I got to get aggressive.
Is that Elijah? I think he just went.
He did?
That is.
Yeah, he did. Shot. So my board's not updated. This fucking thing sucks.
He went 2 picks out of you. So you said Waddle's here.
Yeah, but I'm taking Curtis Samuel.
Parker.
I'm taking Curtis Samuel. I know he hasn't practiced yet, but he's in my tier with Mike Williams, so I got to take him. I can't believe Elijah Moore went that soon. I thought I was going to be aggressive. And Marquise Brown went. Did I mention that this software sucks? Dear God.
I turned 41 next week. I'm already like squinting at this computer screen. I'm going to need cheater glasses soon.
This website, I think the technology that we're using is actually older than you.
This is what Oregon Trail was made on.
So
Kevin Google.
I don't even see who all went out. So Darnell Mooney went. So
Okay,
yeah,
we
they
got
still
picks
have
and
not
fast and
moved
furious.
Elijah Moore from my queue. Thanks. Still haven't removed Marquise Brown from my queue.
You took Curtis Samuel, followed by Michael Pittman and Mecole Hardman. So now we're up to Mitch Carl, DFS and Donuts. It's his Twitter handle. You guys out there like when we do these draft shows? Get things out of it?
I'll be honest, like when we do our stuff on FFPC and we use Sleeper, I feel like our shows are way better. They're way cleaner, just because it's so much easier to manage, like the draft. Like what I'm having to battle through is like honestly really freaking annoying.
Ronald Jones off the board. Light a candle, say a prayer.
And is that ahead of Michael Carter?
Yeah, I don't see Carter off the board yet.
Yeah, I really don't know how to trust what the board's telling me. So Pittman did go. Okay, I think I'm caught up on all these picks now. Irv Smith went. Sorry, guys. This probably isn't like the best listening material. I'll be honest. I feel like this is one of our worst draft shows ever. Normally, like I'm trying to give you a lot more insight. I'm doing everything I can just to keep up with this board and this freaking queue. I don't think I've bitched this much in like 5 years about anything. And this is the software my home league uses. But you know what I'm gonna do, dude? I'm gonna open up my phone. I like their phone draft app better than the damn. I just need to get over to this league.
I'm a Yahoo guy. I use Yahoo for my home league that I commission. I've been a big fan of that.
People are like, so what was your takeaway of the hustle this week? They're like, don't use MFL. Did you get anything about players? Nope.
I feel bad for that Jack Miller kid coming on afterwards. He's going to get screamed at.
We would never scream at Jack. Jack's a badass. So he'd end up screaming at us and like making us look bad. Oh, that's funny. So there goes Gesicki. Taysom Hill off the board. Michael Carter's still sitting there. I just can't do it. I've got to take a receiver. I do always like seeing players that I'm different on than other guys. So like a Beeb, like he took Brandon Cooks well before I would have. Just with the quarterback situation there right now. And I like we talked up Cooks last year, right? But every year, things change. Things are different. Has there been news on Michael Carter? Is there a reason no one wants Michael Carter? Like Raheem Mostert just went?
I mean, they're talking up a little bit Tevin Coleman. I actually tweeted about that. I know nobody wants to draft Tevin Coleman, and he's probably going to have a role. But Tevin Coleman's a guy you can get 3 rounds from now.
And so basically Jalen Waddle lost his starting role to Albert Wilson, if we believe Camp Hype.
Mm-hmm. I tell you, too, you still got hanging out there the Texans situation at quarterback, Tyrod and Deshaun Watson. They're both going to go.
I know, but I don't want either of those here.
Mm-hmm. No, not here, but a couple rounds from now, Tyrod might be okay. Best ball.
Yeah, I got to grab another receiver.
Who's in the queue? You're up.
Well, Waddle just went. That was in the queue. Smola slow clocked that one. Let's make sure he's not like calling in saying that, his software froze.
We're getting deep when guys are asking about Russell Gage and Henry Ruggs.
I'm so frustrated. I'm calling this software. It's like something I've downloaded to my computer. It's not. All right. So I am actually I'm going to go with some youth here. I'm going to draft Rondell Moore to go with my Kyler Murray.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
I gotta stack some upside in here with the receivers, and I just gotta stack them deep. Michael Carter, you could have talked me into Michael Carter, but I mean, I really need receivers. So
right, and I
kind of made my bet. I basically said, look, Aaron Jones, Joe Mixon, Mike Davis. Those are my horses. I'm running with them. And I'll grab some other backs later. Mm-hmm. But Michael Carter was technically probably the best value there on my board. But man, I definitely want some of these. I need some upside at receivers.
And Rondell Moore, then again, is just a guy in a good situation where there's no tight end to say. You got Christian Kirk, who's underwhelmed. You've got AJ Green. We don't know what he's got left. You got the white kid. What's his name? The kid in the slot who they can't get on the field. So, I mean, it looks like if they go 4 wide, he's going to play. There's Jonnu. That could be a good value right there. Imagine if he becomes the number 1 target for New England, which could very easily happen.
We just don't know. I don't think anyone's going to be the number 1 target for New England. But you're right. It could happen.
There's a lot of talk about Jacoby Myers being the target hog in camp. And, Cam's got rapport with him. We'll see that might be a guy for us to look at in a round or 2.
I'm pulling up my queue, so keep us going.
There goes Michael Carter.
That's a good value. And that's his third. That's his third back.
Mike Schaub took him. He's got like the best radio voice ever. It's like, it's Mike Schaub from WGR Buffalo. It's awesome. It's a great voice. I wish I had it.
It's like Rush Limbaugh. Or, Rush Limbaugh is what I'm thinking of.
That's
so
right.
The 0 RBers, Daigle, let's call out his pick here. It's going to be Zach Moss. Let's just go ahead and call that. Or Damian Harris, one of those two.
Daigle still with only 1 running back.
Took Damian Harris. Called his shot. Somebody should have sniped Daigle's ass. Austin, instead of Cam Newton, should have freaking taken Damian Harris right there like a champ. There goes James Robinson, hearing a lot of things in around, like this dude's still going to be the back, and Travis Etienne is struggling.
We brought that up on my Sirius show this past weekend. We played a clip from Byron Lambert from Roster Watch, who's at Jags camp, and said the back to own is James Robinson. Let's see. In the chat, they want to know Rondell Moore over Terrace Marshall this year. Both of them fighting for targets.
I like them both. I like the Cardinals' offense better, though. So I've got Moore ranked over Marshall. I'm looking at my tiers right now. I can tell everybody. So here are my rookie or second year receiver tiers. So I've got Waddle, Chenault, Elijah Moore, McCole Hardman, and Pittman. And then my next tier of those guys has Rondell Moore, Darnell Mooney, Brian Edwards, Rashad Bateman, Jalen Reagor, and Henry Ruggs all together. So I have and then my third tier of those guys is Terrace Marshall, Diami Brown, and then kind of a line after that on a mini tier of Nico Collins, Dwayne Eskridge, Gabriel Davis, Amon Ross, St. Brown. So yeah, I have Terrace Marshall a little lower than where he's going, but I really do love the player, and I wouldn't mind having him on this team.
If you're watching on YouTube, I'd love you to leave us a comment, like the video, tell us who you would have taken, what teams you like the best, thoughts on Dwayne's build. Just put them right there in the comments. Subscribe to that channel. And you get cool content like this. This might not come out as a podcast. This might be a YouTube exclusive. And you're in it.
Tears. See, we're calling Daigle shots, and people won't mess with him. Like he just took Terrace Marshall. So he's betting long odds here on the Panthers offense with Sam Darnold and all 3 receivers.
I see here he took Troutman.
He took Troutman. Okay, so Marshall went next. Yeah, yes. You're right. Oh, what happened? Oh, my board didn't refresh. Imagine that. Jesus.
I haven't heard much about Troutman so far in camp. He's been really quiet.
Yeah, it's been pretty quiet around him, hasn't it?
But again, it's because you don't have a quarterback. And these guys aren't. I doubt he's looking to throw intermediate routes. Jameis,
Did I miss it? Like, how has Zach Moss not gone with some of these people that drafted so many receivers? I guess really it's just Daigle that went super heavy receiver.
Gerald Everett just went. It's Mike Schaub's first tight end. in round 12. I like Jared Everett this year. Came off tight end 17 in this draft. All right, so you're up in another pick. Who do you got in the queue?
Hunter Henry just went, so it is on me. And I'm going to take another swing at the rookies here, and I'm going to take Bateman.
He came up pretty injured today in camp.
Yeah, well, he had an abdominal strain already.
And he went down the groinish or...
Oh, he did today? Oh,
yes.
That's fucking awesome. Great. Awesome. I could have used that information I could have used that information like 10 minutes ago. I'm messing with you. No, I've been working all day, so I haven't had a chance to look at any injury news, so I don't care. Season long, best ball. Like, so he's like hurt, like how bad?
They're not sure. So he's down a few weeks. We'll see if he comes back in a month or so.
Oh, that's great. A month or so. I don't like that with rookies when they get hurt that bad.
Yeah, I mean, with him, you don't know if that's like a core muscle thing, if he's going to need surgery. When he went down, he's kind of grabbing his groin and just didn't look great.
There goes Deshaun Watson to Jared as his third.
I'm always a fan of that. I just want to clarify, too, for folks, when I say that I like taking Deshaun Watson, it's not that I'm looking past all his off-the-field things. I like it as an upside play of if this guy is back on the field for somebody, he's going to put up massive numbers, and you're getting him in round, 12? That's what I like about it. I obviously do not condone any of this off-the-field stuff that he, has been accused of. There goes Zach Moss. He's at the draft addicts in the third hole.
And James Conner right after that, which we've pretty much confirmed now this is going to be a full-time split. So all the folks that were drafting Chase Edmonds back in the 4th and 5th round a month ago, like not looking good. There goes A.J. Dillon.
You've taken 4 straight wide receivers. 5 of your last 7.
Yeah.
What are you thinking for this roster going forward? You want to try to slide in another quarterback here? Maybe running back? What do you think?
I'm going to keep taking receivers because we're in the tiers that I want to hit the receivers, and we're going to be very soon be past those tiers, and there's going to be nothing. So I've got to go to the well again on this next pick. And I'm okay with it. I made my bed by taking Mike Davis. I said, these are my backs. Mm-hmm. Because if I take a receiver there, right, I'd be a little more open here, but he was the value that was available. So the way I've constructed this roster, I have to, you hear Pat Kerrane and Pete Overzet say they're pissing yellow because that's what it is on FFPC. Over here, I'm going gangrene because I got to keep like cranking off these receivers. They're green in color, but it's going to be hard for me to compete at those positions without having numbers. And people have kind of slowed up a little bit on them here because they're having to take these other spots I took earlier. And so I have to keep the way my roster is constructed, I have to keep pounding it here. Like I'm not having to take Cole Kmet here, right? I'm not having to take James Conner or AJ Dillon. These guys have had to get off of their receivers and they're leaving a grouping of receivers that still have some value. So I have to take them.
Who's in the queue as you're a few picks away?
Well, so I've gone youth with the last 2. So, I mean, I could either keep swinging and I could go with Henry Ruggs or Brian Edwards or Rager. Those are the youth guys. Or I could go ahead and come back and grab like a Corey Davis. This is really what I was thinking. Mm-hmm. Like a little bit more of a stabilizing kind of force. And I think, he's not completely devoid of upside. He could still be the Jets' number 1 receiver.
I love my guy Crunch in the chat talking about Jacoby Myers.
Yeah, I like Jacoby Myers. I don't know. Like there's so many guys. And I have Jacoby Myers in my queue, to be honest. So my queue reads not necessarily in any order, but the receivers I have here are Henry Ruggs, Brian Edwards, Jalen Rager, Jacoby Myers, Marquez Callaway, Nelson Aguilar, Emmanuel Sanders. And that's it for right now. So Pollard went, and Corey Davis just went right in front of me.
Oh,
that's really fucking sweet. Smola's done that a couple times. He did that to me with Waddle. I guess he just did it that one. And he did it to me with Barkley. So he did do it to me twice. But so here I could go with a veteran like Sanders. I think I'm just going to keep the pedal down with like the upside. And I'm just going to go ahead and go. Who do you like? You like Ruggs or Edwards more? Did anyone blow off, did their leg get blown off by a landmine today? I have 19 seconds.
I like it. Hypothetically, I like Edwards. Just because he's the X, and I like what John Gruden's done with X receivers in the past.
I'm gonna take Ruggs then.
There you go. Do your thing.
I think there's a chance Edwards comes back. Not that I really want to own both those guys, but there goes Ferkser. If you want to read folks off like the roster, if you want to read down the roster like where we're at, I know we probably won't do that many more rounds, but kind of where we're sitting.
Sure. So if you're looking at Dwayne's team right now, let's do the last 4 or 5 rounds here. We went in this wide receiver run. It was Big Mike Williams in round 9. Round 10 was Curtis Samuel. Then we went Rondale Moore, the rookie. Followed that up with Rashad Bateman from Baltimore. And now we're back. The youth movement is on with Henry Ruggs. So we got a lot of young guys in these last 4 picks. And we got some injury issues too. We've got Curtis Samuel who's got the groin. And we've got Bateman now with his issues.
Yep. Like I would take the Bateman pick back if I would have known the injury news. You know what? That's the beauty, man. I won't have to worry. And again, I love the job that I have, so I'm thankful for it. But now that I'm going full time on fantasy, like I never have to worry about that again. Like I'll be reading and digging into the news all day long, every day. So I won't pick Rashad Bateman. There's Lenny, playoff Lenny.
3 straight tight ends for Abib. Really kind of value shopping. He went.
He's swinging. He's just making sure he knows he's got to get something out of that.
And he took both Patriots tight ends, and Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry. Then he just took Ferkser here in round 13.
So I have to start 3 receivers right now, and I've got Claypool, Williams, Samuel, Moore, Bateman, Ruggs. When healthy, I'm fine with all of those guys. But really, for the if you look at the complete roster, like I'm playing Kyler Murray and Tua every week, Aaron Jones, Mixon, and then my flex is either Pitts or Mike Davis. I don't want to really be needing to depend on 4 receivers like out of my group. So the way I've constructed my roster, I've said I'm going to be strong at tight end. I feel strong at running back. It can be fragile, right? I can have injury at any moment with Aaron Jones, Joe Mixon, Mike Davis. That could happen at any time. So receivers, I've got to start 3, but hopefully I'm only needing to start 3 most weeks. Hopefully Mike Davis, between TJ Hawkinson, Kyle Pitts, and Mike Davis, they're covering my flex and my starting tight end right each week.
Folks are asking about AJ Green. If you're thinking about him.
Yeah, but yes, just because of the stack potential. Emmanuel Sanders was the other guy I considered for Henry Ruggs. And
he just went to Mike Leone.
Yeah. So anytime Mike Leone takes someone, I feel even better about my assessment of a player because he's a super sharp dude. And then Jared Cook is gone. Man, the tight ends are gone. The kind of last remaining tier of running backs are gone now, with Jamal Williams and Kenyon Drake both going. Just saw Jacoby Myers go as well to Danny Kelly.
It's going to be some good shots in the dark here coming up, a Zach Ertz type. This is a 25-round draft, and if you need a week out of somebody in a best ball and they're there super late, Deshaun Jackson they're going to take shots to him in LA. If he only plays 15 snaps a week, and that's kind of what they're going to do, put him in some bubble wrap, throw his ass out there, and take 2 shots to him a week. Guy could catch 7 touchdowns this year.
And
just
AJ Green just went, for those of you wondering, and Jalen Reagor. So names that we've been talking about, 2 of them just went. And see why I had to keep going with receivers, because I knew these guys eventually were going to have to get back over on there. So if I would have like mixed in another running back, another quarterback, that kind of thing, and I got to start 3, and I own 6 right now. It's just kind of the way it worked out. So from a roster construction standpoint, like I took the value that they left me based on the format of the draft, and then that dictated like planning ahead what I had to do in these rounds, and I just had to stay focused. It could have been easy to go off track for another one of those running backs, especially Michael Carter. Like I could have, like if you would have probably mentioned Michael Carter to me in the moment and like said anything about him, you probably like could have got me to really consider it. There goes Brian Edwards. So all these, this is why I had to keep doing it. All the guys we've just been talking about are literally all going. And there goes Naheem Hines to Daigle as his 4th back.
25-round draft. I bet Marlon Mack goes at some point too.
Oh, yeah. Dang it. Callaway just went. That was going to be my pick. And this is why. So I'm going to draft Nelson Aguilar, who I still think could be the top receiver to own.
Sure.
With the Patriots, any one of them could be the top. And so I'm going to go ahead and he's kind of more of a big play guy now. At least he has been. So I'll take those weeks where Aguilar has the 3 catches for 90 yards and a touchdown. Like he'll get in my lineup that week, Drake.
There you go. So you've got 3 running backs right now.
Yep.
Do you think it's time to start hammering running back a little bit? And do you want to come back with another quarterback if there's anybody left?
Basically, I'm flexible now. I'm to the point where I'm flexible. I'm looking at this tier, though, and I mean, Christian Kirk is another guy that I'm interested just because I do own Kyler Murray. I'm definitely interested in Diami Brown as a rookie. Let's see here. I got to get these people in my queue. Let's talk through this. So I got still like Paris Campbell at this price. Right. I know he got hurt last year.
Mm-hmm.
But we saw that flash in that first week. I'm worried about the quarterback situation, obviously. But I'm not afraid of reaching at all for the guys I want here at receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Just because at this point, I'm not worried about reaching anymore. I'm just worried about roster construction. It's like I need plenty of these receivers. There goes Demarcus Robinson just went right now. That's to pair with Mahomes.
And there's folks asking about 4 receivers with 8 buys in a week. Let me try that again. Easy for me to say. 4 week 8 receivers with buys.
Yeah.
But again, there's 10 more rounds of this draft.
Yeah.
So there's going to be plenty of people that are going to be coming to the roster. There's probably another 4 wide receivers.
Well, I've got Bateman's week 8, Ruggs is week 8, Samuel's 9, Mike Williams is 7, Chase Claypool's 7. Unless NFL's also got that fucked up, because I saw they had it in here, so I minimized it on my draft board. So if someone tells me those are wrong, then that's awesome.
Hey, shout out our buddy Debro from FTN stopping by.
Debro. Goes Gus Edwards.
I love his Family Guy avatar. That's the best. He's saying Aguilar's buy is 14.
Yeah, Aguilar's 14. Rondell Moore's 12. I'm good. I'm good on my buys, at least as far as I can tell. There goes Gabe Davis. Devin Singletary.
Now, there's no kickers, no defenses in this, right?
No kickers, no defense, which is very nice. I wouldn't mind owning one more running back here.
Who's in the mix here?
I'm really thinking James White. It's a PPR league. I just got to check something. So that would be week 14 bye. I've got a week 6, 13, and 10 on my backs. There goes David Johnson right in front of me. I think I am going to go ahead and take James White here. The other guys I've got in the mix are Diami Brown, Paris Campbell, Christian Kirk, Teddy Bridgewater, Jimmy Garoppolo, Mac Jones. So I'm going to go ahead and take James White just to have it's definitely not like my upside pick, but it's just a PPR back that can get in the mix for me in the bye weeks. Every once in a while, James White, we really, if you're a James White person, you kind of want Mac Jones to take over as the quarterback. Although, we say that. We saw Cam Newton definitely supported, Christian McCaffrey when we all said he couldn't throw to running backs. Really, he could. So Abib just hammered another tight end. Is that 4 for him now?
Yep, Gronk off the board. One, two, three, four.
So at this point, I'm not even working the queue in MFL. I'm bolding the players that I'm thinking about over on my board because it's easier to keep up with, and then I'm just using the search for anyone that's going to use this software soon.
So what running backs are, for folks that are going to be doing drafts soon, should they be thinking about, hey, I need to take some late dart throws? That's kind of where we are.
Well, it's a little different in a best ball, right? Some of the guys I'm about to name, I don't like quite as much in a best ball format as I do in a redraft. But obviously, where we're sitting right here, and I'm trying to get caught up with like who everyone has taken. So there's a market inefficiency right now with Pollard going 3 to 4 rounds ahead of Alexander Madison. I'm pretty sure Madison's still available. He's probably going to go before it gets back.
Just went. There
you go. That's what I like to do. Call out the guys I like as they go. I believe Latavius Murray Murray went. Darrington Evans would be the next. Chuba Hubbard would be in that pack as well. Samaje Perine as a guy for Mixon. I don't necessarily like owning my handcuffs. In a 25-round draft, I will if he falls far enough. Devontae Booker would be another one. We know Barkley's already going into the season hurt. I'm not as crazy about Booker just because, man, the Giants' offense, it just sounds like it's going to be a nightmare despite all the weapons they have. So there goes McKissick. So I'm definitely glad I went ahead and took PPR back and White. McKissick was the other guy I was thinking of, and that is to Daigle. Rookie Amon-Ra St. Brown went as well.
A lot of good reports out of camp on him. So you folks in your home leagues, keep an eye on him. Nice dart to throw with one of your last few picks. Could be the Detroit #1 wide receiver by the end of the year.
There goes Philip Lindsay.
Somebody's got to emerge in Houston. David Johnson just went as running back 46 off the board. We're in round 15, just about to turn the corner onto round 16. If you folks are hanging out with us tonight around 10:30 Eastern, 9:30 Central, we're going to have our guest, Jack Miller from Establish the Run. We're going to talk to him about all things fantasy football. So the last few picks.
So the one problem with waiting this long on your third quarterback, and I stand by the decision to do it. I needed to do it. Is now you're dealing with guys that could just be a complete waste of a spot, right? You just don't know. You're looking at Garoppolo, you're looking at Bridgewater, Locke. You don't know which one's going to start. You got Mac Jones, you got Tyrod Taylor, And this is a 25 round draft. So it's like, it's going to get like really hairy. So I'm catching up my board here. So Hooper went, Jarwin went. Did Eric Ebron go? I don't think he did. Zach Ertz didn't go yet.
No, I mean, 24 tight ends off the board, and you've got Ebron and Ertz as potential options. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. So the pick I really want, and somebody could be listening to this. I want Darrington Evans. That I'd like to get the upside pick. Man, Sammy Watkins just went, and I know like everybody's out on Sammy. I'm mad. I got him buried, but man, the more I sit and listen, and if these other receivers can't stay healthy, we know Sammy has talent. It's something in his head. It's something else going on. That's the problem with Sammy. It's not the talent. But he seems to be a fit for this offense and what they want to do. Damn it.
Interesting tweet a comment this week where he was talking about when he was in KC, he was just kind of running off safeties and, Tyreek's the man. And now that he's going somewhere else, now he can get back to doing what he does. And remember, there was a time in Buffalo, he was elite.
Yeah. High draft capital. Now, 2 teams moved on from him quickly, right? The Bills basically got in their new regime, traded him, went to the Rams, never could make it click, then landed in a great offense in Kansas City and couldn't make it happen. And I think that's what gets people, right? How do you go play with, Pat Mahomes and not get the ball? Because if you're good enough to demand some targets, Pat Mahomes is willing to spread it around. I mean, he's not just locked in on not spreading the ball around. Any word, Drake, on anything around the Tyrod Taylor situation? And I know he's still the starter right now, but has there been any talk like I've missed, like in the last day or two, like about their other guy, Davis Mills, or any of these others?
I think there's a lot of talk from players that they've spoken to, and they're saying, hey, Tyrod's really going to show out when he gets his chance, he's a good player. So the players are talking him up. So I think internally they kind of know, hey, Tyrod's our guy this year.
Okay. Of course, we've heard that many times.
Dwain is team number 5, 32 beat writers. And if that's the 32 beat writers Twitter feed, that's an awesome feed. I use that when I get ready for my Sirius show.
So McKissick is available again because Daigle traded out.
No, McKissick went round 15.
He went right after Daigle did that. Okay, sorry. I was reading Daigle's in the chat room. He's like, he wants Cobb instead of McKissick. But you're right, yeah.
Ertz just
Bridgewater, Ertz. So, I'm looking at, I'll be honest, like the player I like the most here at quarterback is Mac Jones. Just because, what we saw last year was not good from Cam. And is it just a matter of time kind of thing? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There goes Crowder.
Because again, it's a best ball. Crazy things happen in a long NFL season. If it breaks your way, maybe you got a shot at winning this thing. I like the upside of Tyrod kind of running around. He doesn't turn it over a lot.
Yeah, could come back and stack him with like a Nico Collins.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, never mind. Nico Collins just went. I'm really good at calling out the picks. If any of you guys want me to join your home draft and call out all the players you want into your ear, whisper sweet nothings into your ear as they disappear right in front of you.
All right, Dwayne's on the clock.
I took Darrington Evans. That's the guy I wanted one more upside back. I'm probably done. And now we'll come back to receiver, tight end. Receiver, tight end, quarterback, probably through at running back.
Kind of just BPAing it at this point.
Yeah, I need some more receivers. I'd like to have 10, to be honest, with the guys I'm throwing out there right now.
I tell you, I wasn't going to hang on this long, but we've got a ton of folks watching here, and they're digging it and they're interacting with us, so we're going to stick with it.
Yeah, I'm sorry I'm not watching the chat room. I got too many things going, but that's what we got you for, Drake. Keep us rolling. Any questions, chat room, like roster construction stuff? Guys, you got players that chat rooms thinking about right now that I need to be thinking about.
There's some stuff here. People are asking if you're Traquan Smith, Brashad Perriman, if you're looking at handcuffing a quarterback in the league this deep.
I thought Traquan went. In a league this deep, you could look at cuffing the quarterback. Unfortunately, I don't like either one of the cuffs for the two quarterbacks I have. So I'm almost more likely just to kind of make a stand with who I have. There goes Sterling Shepard. I thought about him. Like Sterling Shepard, I mean, what? He's just going to go out and catch 70 balls? I mean, that's just probably what he's going to do.
He's money. Especially in a PPR. That guy will fill in. He'll be a flex for somebody.
Kiki Kuti just won. Has there been a resurrection of Kiki Kuti?
I think Randall Cobb's going to start going off the board here in a minute.
Well, Cobb's already gone.
Oh, did he?
He's with the Packers now, right?
I know. He went. Where'd he go?
Yeah, he went to Daigle. Daigle took Cobb, and then McKissick went.
Okay, I see it there. My bad.
It's easy to miss. What's the news on Kuti? So I wonder why Mitch Carl like that. When I see people make picks like that, it always makes me wonder. Like there must have been news today, something, or in the last day or two.
Well, we got 32 beat writers in here. Maybe they can let us know. I have not seen anything on Kuti. Maybe you're hoping that something happens. Typing in Roto World, hoping something pops up.
So I've got in my queue, I've got Diami Brown, Christian Kirk, KJ Hamler, Mac Jones, Drew Lock, Jimmy Garoppolo, Tyrod Taylor. There goes Dawson Knox.
Yeah, like Kevin Tompkins got some stuff. Donovan Peoples-Jones, Christian Kirk, MVS, Deshaun Jackson.
I like MVS. Pringle. I like the MVS call in this format for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's nothing on Kuti.
When you put Marquise Valdes-Scantling in your queue, it screws up the whole thing because it has to reformat for how long his name is. So there goes Xavier Jones. And then Smola's on the clock. There goes Drew Lock. That might be my cue. Actually, I'm gonna take Diami Brown.
I like that because we have Curtis Samuel on this team. And if he's banged up, there's camp reports that Diami Brown's getting a lot of run. And if they're playing predominantly 11 personnel, he's going to be on the field as one of their three receivers. Oh, you know who else I'm hearing a lot about? Adam Humphries.
Yeah. That's the worry with Brown is that Humphries and he are more of a rotation as a third receiver, depending on what they need, on the field.
Mm-hmm. So you're up, right?
Already took him. Already took Diami Brown. OJ Howard went to pick after.
Yeah, I'm a mile behind you. Nico Collins did go for the guy in the chat room asking.
Yeah, he went the pick before me the last round. Kenneth Gainwell. What are you thinking on Gainwell now? Like, is he just like inactive? I mean, if they think they're going to keep like between the tackles, a long down and distance guy that's also the short down and distance guy. Like that feels like that's Carry-On or Howard, to your point. And then it feels like Boston Scott's the 2-minute back.
Mm-hmm. I don't
First and
think
second downs is Miles Sanders. Because I was on Kenny Gainwell earlier in the offseason. I still don't think he's a bad pick in round 17 in this draft. Like you're just betting on youth, stacking him on your roster.
One of Carry-On Johnson or Jordan Howard's not going to make the team. From what I've seen is that they're not even giving.
But my point being, how's he even active if they want one of those two guys to be playing and taking a role? Like
maybe early in the season
is Gainwell going to be active is my question, really, I guess.
It might not be. I could also very easily see a scenario where they trade Boston Scott to somebody who needs a running back and maybe needs a little change of pace guy. Say they get a 6th round pick back for him. I could see the Eagles doing that. That's totally something that they'd be all about because they're very much the same back. You don't need both of those guys to do the same role. Plus, you have Miles Sanders who can do a lot of that stuff too.
So I was just about to put John Brown in my queue. He's gone. I hate to roster Deshaun Jackson. Like, he's looking good with Stafford, but it's like I know, how many games am I getting out of Deshaun Jackson?
That's the best ball. Only need a few with this receiver group.
Well, yeah, but my worry is, do I get one and he's hurt? And I literally get 0.
Tevin Coleman pick. I like that. Danny Kelly.
There is Christian Kirk as well. So I'm not going to get my double stack. It was down to Diami or Kirk on the last pick. I probably should have gone with Kirk just because I do have the quarterback, Kyler Murray.
MVS still on the board?
Yep.
Alan Lazard probably still hanging around.
There goes Chuba Hubbard.
You want to get real deep. Travis Fulgham, we're talking Eagles. He's going to start in 3 wide sets.
Yeah, I have Fulgham in my queue.
Talked about him today. I was on RotoWire Fantasy Sports today with our buddy Jim Coventry.
Oh, I love Jim. He's awesome.
Maybe the nicest guy in fantasy, Jim Coventry.
He's also very good.
Yeah, I get to hang out with
him.
I
don't think people know how good he is.
He does baseball, football, all the stuff, man.
He's a sharp dude.
Yeah.
Leone is just stacking all the backs now. He basically got his receivers, his tight ends, his quarterbacks, and running back is where he was waiting.
You could play the other end of this record here with Leone is when you're taking some of these receivers, we know a lot of these receivers are still going to play. Like there's no guarantee that who do you take here? Chuba Hubbard's ever going to. It's just the bet. Oh my God! If McCaffrey goes down,
but for his roster construction, right? He's just making multiple bets, on it. So, I mean, the way he built his roster, he's doing what he needs to be doing right now. The way, I built my roster, I'm doing what I need to be doing, right now. And that's kind of where you get to this point, in the draft is really about finishing out your roster construction. Dan Arnold. What's great about my team? I will not ever fucking need a Dan Arnold. That's for damn sure. There goes Devonta Booker. And we got Abib up on the clock. And he takes Tyrod Taylor. Of course, that was my pick. So I'm going to go ahead and take Jimmy Garoppolo.
Daigle's probably waiting on him.
Well, that's literally the last guy that I had in my queue that was a quarterback. So my pick was Tyrod, but I'll go with Jimmy G.
We'll hang on through Dwayne's
And
next
thank
pick.
God Jimmy G's buy is different than Kyler Murray and Tua. And there goes Valdez-Scantling. That was the next guy up in my queue after the quarterbacks.
We got to say to people too, it's very difficult to talk through a draft versus if you're just sitting by yourself in a room doing a draft, because then you can totally focus in. It's tough to sit here and follow along and talk and try to be entertaining and give information.
It really is. And that is where like the easier user interface helps with some of the other sites that we use. Like we've done FFPCs live before, and I felt like they were great. They were really, I mean, the people in the chat room can tell us if they were good or not. I don't know if they were great, but I thought they were much smoother than this, and people seem to like them.
How many of those have you done so far this year?
I haven't done very many. I'm kind of just been holding off a little bit because I've had my normal gig and then trying to ramp everything up for PFF at night. So I'm going to start pounding the drafts though here this weekend where I can.
Another interesting late pick might not be the worst.
I've done a ton of best ball. I've done a lot of Underdog. So that's really where more of my drafting's been. I think I'm 50 teams in on Underdog. So
nice. I'm doing an Underdog draft right now. My God, it's the slowest thing ever. I think we're on like week 2 or 3 of it. What about Donald Parham late? Who knows if Jared Cook could stay healthy?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think he's worth a late pick. I'm not going to do it on my team. I'm putting my chips on Hawkinson and Pitts and saying, F it. And that's what I'm going with. I mean, I kind of made that bed. A guy I do like potentially at running back later. I don't know if he'll make it. Would be as soon as I say his name, he's going to go. But it would be Justin Jackson. I'm hearing good things. And so they're installing the wide zone scheme. We know that Eckler's not going to handle all of that work. Mm-hmm. I also think that if there was a guy that had to replace Eckler that can do a little bit of both, it is Jackson. And there's a new coaching staff there, so nobody's tied to Josh Kelly. So McKinnon, gone. Josh Reynolds, gone.
Boy, we're firing a lot of darts now. So we'll stick through this pick. And then we got to let Dwayne finish up and get ready at...
And then we'll come back.
Yeah, we'll come back with Jack Miller at 10:30, 9:30 Central. And if you guys are watching elsewhere, just find it elsewhere on YouTube or wherever you download the Hustle podcast. So who are you thinking here with this next pick? You're up in another second here.
Hang on 1 second. Sorry. I'm building my list. So there goes Pringle.
Dwayne's last few picks.
I'm taking Dwayne Eskridge if he's there.
He took James White, Darrington Evans, Dynami Brown, and Jimmy G.
Eskridge is a guy that I know people don't like because how old he was coming out. There goes Justin Jackson. See, I'm really good at calling out these picks. If you guys want me to join your draft for $300, I will join you on your draft on my phone and call out players that you want to be drafted in front of you. Don't give me names that you like. Like I need to know the names that you don't like, and I'll make sure those guys go. Because every time I name like some of these players, it's funny. So I'm gonna go ahead and take Eskridge here. He can play inside. He can play outside. We're going to see more 11 personnel. That's why they drafted him and brought over Gerald Everett. It'll be 12 and 11 groupings for Shane Waldron. Eskridge has missed some practice. Actually, foot injury. Check and see if he's been back. But he slid far enough at this point where he can be a big play guy, and he could actually be potentially, a little bit more. Like it could be. It's going to be the Rams style attack. So between him and Everett, like one of them could really take over the third. They could really split the third role. We don't know. But they obviously liked the guy. They took him in the second round. So, and I love Russell Wilson. So
while looking up the Dwayne Eskridge info, I see that DJ Dallas, the writer from The Athletic, believes DJ Dallas has a shot at being the team's primary third down back.
Yep.
So
DJ Dallas was that last year until he got hurt. And then it ended up having to be the guy they got in the 7th round the year before that was a special teamer. I have to go back over to my Seahawks. It's going to drive me crazy now. Travis Homer. So those two handled the 3rd down duties down the stretch. After Carlos Hyde kind of got dinged up, it was not Chris Carson.
all right, folks. So I hope you enjoyed this little draft we put on here. Appreciate you guys all hanging out. We're going to take a little break, come back with another episode later. So either hang with us or find it wherever you get the hustle. This is the Draft Sharks Invitational number 4. It's 25 rounds. Dwayne's got to keep going. I need a new beer and kiss my kids goodnight. So we'll sign off for now. Appreciate the guys from Draft Sharks for allowing us to be in this draft and to broadcast it. And remember, folks, to never get out hustled. We'll talk to you soon.